Imagine being stopped by a cop for no reason, only to watch helplessly as your car is taken from you, just because of the color of your skin. That's exactly what happened to a young black woman, Maya, who had her whole world flipped upside down by a power-hungry officer. But Maya isn't your average woman. She's a tech genius with a knack for turning setbacks into opportunities. When this officer messed with the wrong person, Maya decided to fight back in a way he never saw coming. Using her intelligence and determination, she created a plan so bold it might just expose the cop for who he really is. But how far will she go to get justice, and will it be enough to take him down? Stay tuned, because this story is about courage, resilience, and the power of standing up for what's right. Maya had always been someone who believed in hard work and fairness. She built her tech career from the ground up, developing cutting-edge software and earning a reputation as a rising star in her field. On the day it all happened, she was driving home from a client meeting in her brand-new car, a symbol of everything she'd worked so hard to achieve. But then, flashing lights appeared in her rearview mirror. The officer who stopped her didn't ask many questions. His tone was condescending, his words sharp. Maya could feel the tension in the air. Despite showing her license and registration, the situation escalated quickly. The cop claimed her car was suspiciously too nice and insisted on impounding it for further investigation. Maya knew this wasn't about the car, it was about her. Humiliated but determined, she decided then and there that this wasn't the end of the story. As Maya walked home that day, her mind raced. She felt a mix of anger and disbelief. How could something so unfair happen to her in broad daylight? The officer's smug expression stayed with her, fueling her determination to fight back. She knew this wasn't just about her car. It was about proving that no one, not even someone in a position of power, should get away with such blatant discrimination. Maya spent the evening researching the officer, digging into public records, social media, and anything else she could find. It didn't take long to uncover whispers of similar incidents, other people, particularly minorities, who had accused him of misconduct. The pattern was undeniable. Armed with her skills, Maya began developing a strategy. This wasn't just about exposing him. It was about making sure no one else would have to go through what she did. But would she be able to outsmart him before things got worse? Maya's plan was starting to take shape, and every step she took made her more determined to see it through. She used her expertise to create a program that could analyze hours of body camera footage, cross-referencing it with complaints filed against the officer. What she found was shocking. There were clear signs of a pattern, targeting people who couldn't easily fight back and using his authority to intimidate them. But Maya knew gathering the evidence was only half the battle. One night, she stayed up late assembling a digital trail that linked the officer's actions to the stories of his victims. Every piece of data added weight to her case. But the deeper she dug, the more dangerous things became. Someone had noticed her efforts. Anonymous messages began appearing in her inbox, warning her to stop. Maya wasn't sure who was behind them, but she knew one thing: she was getting close. Maya couldn't ignore the messages. They started out vague, warnings to mind her business, but soon became more direct, with veiled threats that made her stomach tighten. Someone clearly didn't want her digging any deeper. Despite the fear creeping in, Maya refused to back down. If anything, it fueled her resolve. She began encrypting her work and keeping backup copies of everything just in case. Then one night, something happened that changed everything. Maya was reviewing a particularly damning piece of footage when her screen suddenly went black. Her heart sank as she realized her computer had been hacked. Files she'd worked so hard to collect were gone, replaced by a single message. Asterisk, this is your last warning. Asterisk, but what the hacker didn't know was that Maya had anticipated this. Hidden deep in her encrypted files was a program she hadn't activated yet, something that could turn the tables in a way no one would see coming. Maya didn't hesitate. With her files wiped and the threats escalating, she knew it was time to execute her hidden plan. The program she designed wasn't just a backup. It was a powerful AI-driven tool capable of digging deeper than she ever could on her own. Once activated, it began compiling a complete profile of the officer, connecting his actions to an intricate web of corruption. Within hours, Maya had everything she needed: proof of abuse, falsified reports, and even financial transactions that suggested bribes. But before she could act, the officer showed up at her doorstep. He smirked, clearly confident he'd scared her into silence. Maya, however, stayed calm. She had already sent her findings to a network of journalists and advocacy groups, ensuring the evidence couldn't be buried. As the officer tried to intimidate her one last time, his phone buzzed. The headlines had gone live. His expression shifted to panic as his entire career unraveled before him. Just when Maya thought it was over, a message popped up on her screen from an anonymous ally, someone inside the system who had been quietly helping her all along. The fight wasn't just hers, and that final twist left Maya wondering how many others were ready to stand up against injustice. As the news spread, the officer was placed under investigation and eventually suspended. Maya's evidence, combined with the stories of others he had wronged, sparked a wave of outrage and calls for accountability. It wasn't just about one cop anymore, it was about an entire system that needed change. Maya felt a sense of relief knowing her hard work had paid off, but she also realized this was only the beginning. Her bravery inspired others to come forward, sharing their stories and demanding justice. The anonymous ally who had helped her remained a mystery, but their support reminded her that even in the darkest moments, she wasn't alone. Maya returned to her work with renewed purpose, using her tech skills to empower others and fight for fairness. Driving her car again felt like reclaiming not just her property, but her voice. She had turned a moment of injustice into a spark for change.